Ani, bonjour. Hello, everybody. Today is February 19th, 2019, and I'm coming you today to give you a quick update of what's going on in my office as well as the administration. We've just come through a long weekend, a family day weekend. Hopefully everybody had a chance to spend some time with their family and loved ones. You know, it's been a tough winter. We've been getting a lot of snow. Mother Nature's been quite relentless on us, but we're almost there. We're the days are getting longer. You know, spring's around the corner, so hang in there. So I'm going to be giving a series of these videos over the next while, just to give updates to you, the citizens. I feel it's an easy way to access a good method of communication and give you guys an idea of what's going on in my office and around the province and nationwide in some cases. So I'm going to get right into it. The first topic I'm going to talk about is the Robinson-Huron Treaty of 1850 annuities claim. Some of you might have been following this since it went into the court. Just a quick update. So Canada has chosen not to appeal the decision. The decision was basically in our favor, so we won phase one. However, Ontario is holding their right to appeal this decision. However, they are willing to head into negotiations. You know, it was recognized in the court decision that the annuities are a collective. But we also know that there has been no amount talked about at this point, and that's going to be part of the negotiations. So it's too early to say, but one thing I can safely advise everybody is that it's not going to happen very quickly. So we have to be patient and let the process go through, and we're in a good position legally, and it could be appealed even if it's heading into negotiations, so that could take longer. So it may be as quick as you know, a year, or it could be a few years. It's hard to say at this point, but we are moving ahead. We're moving into negotiations, and the litigation team is heading that up, and I'll be keeping tabs on the progress of that and reporting to you guys. Secondly, we have the fisheries. So over the last couple of years, we've had to make some bold moves in regards to regulations on the fishery, because the signs were indicating there were some serious problems with the amount of spawning fish that we were seeing in the stocks. So we adjusted the regulations to combat that issue, and in the last couple of years, we've started to see some really positive signs of a potential rebound of those older fish in the stocks. So that's encouraging, but in no way are we out of the woods yet. We have to maintain a certain level of responsible management when it comes to the fishery. However, we are looking at possibly creating a venue during the spring for families to take their kids out as teaching and cultural events that they can do on a limited basis if the stocks can handle it. So right now, our biologists and fisheries staff are looking at what could possibly work without putting us back as far as the length of time for recovery. So we're working on those things, and we're also holding the provincial government. You know, we're holding their feet to the fire, making sure that any regulation changes that they want to put forth are going to assist in the recovery at the highest level. So we're doing that. We're monitoring what's going to be coming out over the course of the next few months. and make sure that they're addressing the issues properly. Next up, one of the things that have been consuming a lot of our time as council and senior staff is the cannabis issue, and so we're currently working on cannabis laws. We did the community consultation. And from that, we're drafting up the set of laws, which should be coming out in draft form very, very, very soon. We also have been in talks with the province and Canada regarding jurisdiction and licensing. There's some issues that we have to resolve there. But essentially, what we're looking at is providing some retail opportunities for our band members. But one thing that we've have to maintain, and this came straight from our community consultation process, is that whatever we do, we have to manage it properly, ensure the safety of our community members. So all the laws that we do develop will reflect what we heard in those consultation meetings. Next up, I wanted to talk about the elders' housing. So we are working on assisted living plan for our elders. And, you know, in this area, it's just developing the plan. We're ready to break ground as soon as we figure out what the best fit is for our nation. And we're looking at assisted living units, both ends of the community, at the Deschênes Yellock end and the Garden Village end. Our aim is to keep our elders in our community where they belong. There won't be any long-term care home at this point. We did explore that. Right now. We're going to work on the independent and assisted living. We have tried the provincial route for accessing funding dollars through their licensing of beds, and we ran into a roadblock because we decided, once we found out that if we access provincial dollars through their licensing system, that we couldn't guarantee our own members access to the beds, and that it was a first come first serve to all Ontarians. So that didn't really fit our needs and desires to move forth. So we're looking at other ways. We're working with Castle Home on a long-term care plan that'll have units within the next 3 years, and ways on how we can tailor further services to our members. Possibly to keep the elderly at home with family. So we're working on all these things, trying to get them developed, and you will see some movement on that in this coming year. We're going to get started as soon as we can, and things will start happening by this building season. Lastly, I wanted to talk a little bit about something that's been, I've been attending meetings with the Anishinaabe Nation, Union Ontario Indians for the last little while, and one of the big things that they've been working on is the Anishinaabe Nation Governance Agreement, which is an agreement with Canada to pass the jurisdiction of lawmaking ability over to us as a government, as a First Nation government. The areas that are being discussed are that the agreement entails, rather, is leadership selection. So basically elections, First Nation government management, language and culture, and fourthly, citizenship. So those are the areas that this agreement is confined to, and so they're in the process right now of communicating the details of this agreement to the First Nations. We'll be seeing information spread out through our community this spring, starting this spring, to answer all the questions we may have surrounding this, whether or not Nipissing First Nation wants to be part of this governance agreement. That'll be up to the citizens to decide. So we're going to disseminate the information on this and have community consultation meetings to discuss whether or not we want to take part. The one thing that I think we all have to realize is that in these 4 areas that this governance agreement is talking about, we've already, as a community, First Nation community, already been developing our own laws in this area. So we've already asserted our own jurisdiction in those areas. However, one of the things that is attached to this agreement is funding. So we could see potentially a substantial increase in funding dollars in those areas, which would I guess make it a little more appealing for us, even though we're already doing those laws. So a lot to think about there. But anyway, I will be providing updates in the next coming months to just keep everybody informed on what's going on. And should you have any questions on this stuff, by all means, you can contact me at the band office or through social media, and I'd be happy to answer any of your questions. So with that, I'll sign out, and I'll just say miigwech to everyone out there, and I hope you have a good second half of the winter. Big excitement coming up with little NHL around the corner. I'm really looking forward to spending some time there, getting to talk to some of the parents and go see some of the kids in their dressing rooms and cheer them on. So I hope to see you there, and I'll be providing some live streaming like I usually do at some of the games out there. So anyway, hope to see you there. And once again, if you want to talk, by all means, contact me. Thanks, everybody. Miigwech.